So this is my third time trying to record this. I tried twice before. The first time audio messed up, but I got completely to the end and had to start over. Second time audio messed up, but I just finished this part and then found out it messed up. Anyway, uh, we're trying to go down the good ending this time, or one of the two ways to get the good ending, which this is where I was going down the bad ending in the scene instant replay, and instead of letting Misha know, I downplayed the issue, but this time I have to let Misha know what's going on. The morning alarm sounds and I roll over, switching it off. My eyes open blearily to stare at the ceiling. What am I going to do? I can't get out. Do I get out of bed, go down to the track, and pretend that nothing happened? If I remember right, the song's called Nocturne. Yes. Will Emmy even show up after last evening's events? I doubt it. So yeah, that's why my time's way less, because I just fast forwarded through the game when I had to start it over. Because the first time I messed up, I saved over it not knowing my sound was messed up. Even supposing that she did, what would I do then? Get over this fight just to dance the same routine the next time something's bothering her? I know that I spoke hastily last evening, especially trying to use her father as leverage. But was anything I said really off the mark? She won't let me in, ever, and she'll be forced to suffer alone. Nothing I do, nothing I say is going to change that. She won't change, and she's already decided to keep me at arm's length. Can I really bring myself to go down there and see her, knowing that I'm never going to get past where I am now? Probably not. Nope, he goes to bed. No, I decide, I really can't. Not today. I roll over and go back to sleep. She probably won't be there anyway. She probably will. A similar mental conversation repeats itself when it comes time to go to lunch, and I eat in the cafeteria, alone. I don't want to see her. The very thought makes me feel ill. That night, I go for a run. I'm solo for the first time since Emmy got sick after the track meet. Skip seeing the nurse, just in case he asked about Emmy. I don't want to talk about her, either. The next day, I do the same thing. Alarm, off, stay in bed, eat alone, run alone. But yeah, so I found out this, the background is like a real university up in Rhode Island or something like that. I can't remember for sure, but I thought that was interesting to learn they used real background images from like a real university to fill the time that I would usually be spending with Emmy. I start reading more. It works surprisingly well, until I find myself ducking into a classroom because I see her walking down the hall in between classes. If she noticed me, she didn't show it, even though I don't suppose she ever shows anything. Certainly not to the girls from her class I see talking cheerfully to her, or to her fellow track members. Especially not to me. Alarm off. Stay in bed. Mito and I have a lengthy talk about the possibility that string theory is plausible. I don't buy it, myself. See, I heard about string theory, but I know nothing about it. More than 4 dimensions, I can buy, but a bunch of vibrating strings at the subatomic level, that's asking a bit much. Looks like I'm not the only one to think this way, too. Apparently it's not really as strong a theory as it once was. Mito says it's just because nobody has found the right way of looking at the data yet. Eat alone. The rooftop is deserted today. I really wonder where Emmy and Rin are, but shrug off the question. The important thing is that they aren't here, so I won't have to talk to them. It feels like he's actually trying to find her, but she's not there. Since I have nobody to talk to, I bring a book with me to read. The weather's nicer, if getting a little hot. Hopefully it'll be cooler in the evening. A cool breeze seems to back up my theory. Run alone. It is, in fact, cooler at the track. No sign of Emmy, which is exactly the sort of thing I'm going for. I stretch out and start on my usual run, trying hard to ignore the lack of a running partner in front of me. Finding my thoughts drifting damnably to that girlish laugh, incorrigible grin, those wide and friendly eyes, her incredibly toned body. I've been running like that recently with my mom. The last time we went running, we went 4 miles, I think. That stuff hurts after a bit. I increase the pace to clear my head, chew up the distance between me and the turns, find the speed that makes me think only of my legs and how much they burn. I glance at my watch as I round the final turn, noting that my time's gotten faster. My heart seems a little squirrely tonight, so I give myself a few extra cooldown laps just to be safe. No reason to bring this to the nurse's attention, I'll be fine. Rather Emmy-ish thought to have, I'll admit. I have to hope that eventually I'll stop thinking about her so much. When I've had exes after we broke up, I still kind of thought about her for a little bit, but it ended after a while, so I think she'd eventually get over it if they did break up. I finish another book before going to bed that night. I'll have to stop by the library tomorrow. Oop. Oh, beep. I don't know why I keep the early alarm on anymore, but it wakes me up the next morning just the same. I still turn it off and go back to sleep. It's because you want to go see Emmy. Wake up. Or, well, here's the part where you will wake up. Misha's going to help you. That afternoon, as I get ready to head to the cafeteria for another solo lunch, I've got a new book about a couple of con men in ancient Persia that I'm pretty excited about reading. I'm suddenly cornered by Misha, and just this morning I finished a book I was reading called The Sorority Murder. It was about a murder at a sorority, and 3 years later this student's trying to solve it with the help of a podcast he made, where he hopes people will call in and give any information they might have had that the police didn't know, because the police never might have questioned these people. I'm suddenly cornered by Misha, and, I guess just Misha. Off to eat again, he-chan. Off to eat alone again, he-chan. We've noticed, you know. We? She-chan and I noticed that you've been spending more time alone. She wanted me to find out why, so I told her I'd ask you. I mean, at least this student council cares about their students instead of just, ignoring them. I'm surprised she didn't ask me herself. She would have, but she wanted to get a head start on some paperwork. There's a lot of it since we're coming up on the end of the term, you know. Why the sudden interest in my well-being, anyway? Shi-chan said it is the duty of the student council to keep track of the emotional health of its students. To allow a constituent to spiral into depression unchecked would be an unforgivable failure in the council's duties. Well, that's easy, then. I'm not depressed. But you're eating alone. Nobody's seen you and Emmy together at all. Something happened, didn't it, he-chan? Misha's voice takes on a slightly sterner tone, though somehow she keeps a familiar lilt at the end of her sentences. I purse my lips, uncertain about how to respond. As I said earlier, I went through all this before I noticed it messed up. That's why there's check marks in both options. Give in and let Misha know. Well, I suppose someone else knowing about my problem can't hurt. Heck, maybe Misha can even offer some advice. We had a fight at her house. I kept trying to get close to her, and she won't want to get close, and I said something stupid, and she threw me out. Have you talked to her since then? Misha looks genuinely concerned. I'm surprised, as I'd almost expected her to drop the subject after finding out what the trouble was. Even more surprising is how quickly I find myself spilling my guts to her. It's because you want to solve the problem. No, I haven't. I just can't bring myself to face her after that. I made a complete fool of myself, and she probably hates me now anyway, especially since I haven't seen her since then. You're pretty slow, he-chan. This doesn't sound like advice. Huh? Misha places her hands on her hips and launches into a speech that would sound more plausible coming from Shizune. The solution to your problem is simple. You have to go and apologize to her. Leaving things like this will just make things worse. That's true, we've seen how it ended in the, bad ending. I almost said the good ending. You can't know that she hates you now unless she tells you. Otherwise, there's no evidence that what you fear is true. And if you really care about her, shouldn't you be worried about how she's taking all this? With a sudden start, I realize that she's right. I've kept waking up to an early alarm because part of me wants to meet Emmy at the track for our runs. I would say I was right, but I knew that because I seen this. But, though I don't remember the other scenes because I've only replayed this one this morning, found out messed up, and I'm trying it again now. But that's the only reason I remember that part. This music track's Innocence. When the sun started, I realized that she's right. I've kept waking up to an early alarm because part of me wants to meet Emmy at the track for our runs. I've kept running because I know that Emmy would worry about me if I didn't stay healthy. When I went on the roof yesterday, I was half hoping that she would be up there and felt disappointed when she wasn't. I'm an idiot. Kinda, Hee-chan. So, go and apologize to her as soon as you can, okay? I open my mouth to say that I'll do it right away, but the lunch bell rings and I realize that I still have afternoon classes to attend. First thing after class is over, I'll go see her, I promise. And, thanks for the advice, I guess. Misha beams at me, as if I were a child that had just learned his ABCs. Good, I'll let Hee-chan know that you're okay, then. Yeah, you do that. With a wave, and completely disregarding the fact that people are trying to trickle back into the classroom as opposed to out of it, Misha departs the classroom. I suppose she and Shizune have student council business again. While the afternoon wears on, I find myself impatient for lessons to end. I need to see Emmy now. I have to try to set things right. Even if Emmy hates me now, I have to at least apologize. I owe her that much. Should I meet her in her room? No, I decided it would delay things too much. If I know Emmy, then I can find her at the track. I still have no idea what I'm going to say when I get there, but I take comfort in knowing that Emmy probably wouldn't have a plan for something like this, either. Play it by ear. Stop being nervous and just get to the track. Figure the rest out when I get there. The track looms ahead, and another jolt of nerves hits me in the gut. I resist the urge to turn and walk away, and instead note with satisfaction that I was right and Emmy is still running. I don't make myself immediately known. I find a seat in the bleachers and watch her run instead, thinking back to earlier meetings. After a few trips around the track, Emmy notices me and skids to a halt, an expression of surprise that slides easily into one of anger. What are you doing here? Not quite the response I'd hoped for, but at this point I don't have much of a choice. I wanted to apologize for what I said the other day. I wanted to see you the other day. She laughs, a curt exclamation of disbelief. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been almost a week, Hasao. Yeah, well, better late than never, right? Emmy crosses her arms and stares at me coolly, as if sizing me up. Finally, she nods. Humph, I suppose you're right. Water under the bridge, then. I forgive you. Is that all? Her almost impatient question catches me so off guard that she's already halfway down the track before I think to shout after her. No, wait. She doesn't seem to have heard me, or she doesn't want to hear me, and so I give chase, disregarding completely the fact that I am not dressed for it. Oop. My feet hurt, and my shirt collar feels like a noose around my neck, but I still chase after her, because if I don't, I'll lose my chance. Emmy hasn't started to really accelerate yet, which is probably the only reason why I'm able to catch up to her, to reach out and tap her on the shoulder, just before my legs give up and running in dress shoes and stumble to a stop. Yeah, dress shoes suck walking and they hurt after a while. I can't imagine running in them. Surprisingly, fortunately, all that running seems to have paid off. I'm short of breath, yes, but at least my heart isn't actively trying to force its way out of my ribcage. My touch on her shoulder has stopped Emmy, and while there's a flash of concern when she sees me catching my breath, it seems that she has a good idea of what I'm capable of, too. The concern is short-lived. What? She seems so irritated by my still being there that I almost lose my nerve, but I've lost my nerve enough. I need to explain myself. Why can't just let the matter rest? Emmy folds her arms and bounces one blade on the ground in an approximation of tapping her foot impatiently. Angry as she is, and as nervous as I am, she still looks beautiful. She is cute. Okay, Hasao, explain. The thing is, I know that you're really sensitive about the accident and about your dad. I can see Emmy's face twitch at the mention of the two things that have been steadily driving us apart, or at least made me feel like we're being driven apart. But that's why I want to know about them, I think. Because I see how much they hurt you, and I want to be there to comfort you. It makes me feel miserable, seeing you sleepless and depressed. And don't pretend you aren't, because I know, okay? I just remember that night when you fell asleep with me and had that nightmare, and that you were happy to have me there when you woke up. I want to be able to be there for you like that whenever you need me to be. The stern face cracks slightly. Emmy interrupts before I continue further. She looks like she's about to cry. We might be getting through to her. Just stop right there. We can't see each other anymore, okay? She's rushing now, looking at her but at me. I'm surprised she doesn't bolt. She knows I can't catch her. She is the fastest thing on no legs, after all. We're not right for one another. That's not true, and you know it. No, it's true. You're too. I know that I've been pushy about knowing your past. Apologize. I'm sorry. If you can't tell me yet, then at least let me be there even if I don't know the reason. It's okay. I promise. I won't ask why you need comfort. I'll just give it freely. I mean, that's a good thing, too. Emmy's shaking her head, and tears seem to be threatening the corners of her eyes. Stop saying that. Why? Because you're afraid you'll take me up on it? I'm not afraid. I can't keep the chiding tone from my voice as I respond. What does chiding mean? I honestly have no idea for that one, so I'm gonna look it up. Yes, you are. You told me so yourself. You told me so yourself, remember? That's okay, it really is. It means full of rebuke or critical.
Chiding.
Yeah, chiding. Okay. Yes, you are. You told me so yourself, remember? That's okay. Really, it is. It's not bad to be afraid sometimes. However, it seems to me that someone who managed to come out of that wreck and still be as energetic and cheerful as you are would be determined enough to face that fear. Determination? What do you know about determination? I'm here, aren't I? I was determined to come and see you again. I know that there's a girl so determined to take care of a total stranger that she'd steal his food at the festival. I know that there's a girl so determined to help me with my own problems that she'd draw up a complete dietary and exercise plan, that she'd not only draw up the plans, but she'd follow them with me, even when she couldn't run. Determined enough to keep me at arm's length if she'd put herself through emotional pain if she thought it was the right thing to do. Although, there's one thing that this determined girl didn't quite plan for, which was that I might feel that same kind of determination to keep her from being hurt. I fell in love with you, and I refused to let that be thrown away because you were afraid of losing me. What little control Emmy still has at this point cracks, and I find myself suddenly enveloped in her embrace as she cries. Why are you doing this? Can't you just leave me alone? Why can't you just leave me alone? Because I love you, obviously. Oh, that's nice artwork. That's obviously the one we missed by going on the bad ending. I hold her close and plant a kiss on the top of her head. I'm sorry, Emmy. You helped me when I first arrived, so now I have to help you. It's only fair. You're utterly hopeless. Did you know that? She hiccups and trembles a little. Funny, I could say the same about you. We can be hopeless together. Can you do something for me, Sal? Anything. Can you go now? It feels like she's just shoved a knife through my chest. Go. I need to think, okay? I can't just tell you everything yet. I'm still scared, and when you're around, I can't think clearly. But do me another favor. What's that? Show up for our morning run tomorrow? I smile, feeling better than I have all week. Of course, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Emmy steps back slowly, almost reluctantly. She sniffles a little and then grins at me, a real smile that lights up the track, overpowering the fading evening's light. See you tomorrow, Sal. Okay. She darts forward suddenly, planting a soft kiss on my lips, and steps back shyly. Spinning on her back foot, she takes off running again, and I know that our conversation's at an end. My lips tingle with the warmth of that brief kiss and the memories of other, longer kisses. I walk back to my room with a spring in my step. Tomorrow when my alarm goes off, I'll get up. Well, good, you wouldn't want all of what you did to be in vain. It'd be kind of rude if you just, didn't wake up tomorrow after all you just did.